It's like when you get more faves than retweets, you know that you're speaking some dangerous truths. So when Dracula Untold was announced, I knew that it would be very important. It's the 1400s and Transylvanian children are being captured by the Turks and used for slave labor. And one of these kids is Dracula, meaning son of the dragon, controversially perhaps son of the devil, and he gains this reputation as an impaler. He's Vlad the Impaler. But then he escapes in his later years and becomes a family man. There comes a point in everyone's life where you've got to stop impaling people and become a family man. As you may recall, Ice Cube released the Predator album, and then years later became a family man and released Are We There Yet? Dracula Untold expresses, in the sense, how history has repeated itself, but unfortunately not in a particularly interesting way. Dracula Untold is more of a mid-level action movie than it is a horror film. Dracula takes on the curse of vampirism not as an effort to stalk young women and bite their necks, but to gain powers during battle. There's always been this issue of how does Dracula turn into a bat? Is that a very heavy bat, or in human form is that a very light Dracula? Well, this Dracula turns into 40 bats. That's kind of cool, although ultimately the action is shot in a way that's a little hard to follow. He's played by Luke Evans, who is fine, I suppose, but there are two main problems that inhibit this portrayal of Dracula from becoming an interesting movie. The first is that his infection with vampirism isn't taken as a descent into madness. We never see him consumed by power. The characterization is flat across the board. Furthermore, it's not taken far enough as a metaphor for disease. Why is everyone so scared of this guy? The movie kind of wants to have it both ways and play it as a bland action hero, and it doesn't work. It remains as a television film. It's flat. It doesn't quite go anywhere. So why did they want to take this Dracula story out of the realm of the untold? It's like when I read an AV Club article called 17 Songs About Specific Lengths of Time. It's like, okay, but what point are you trying to make? There's not a single intended joke in the film, not a single moment of lightness or humor. And that was the same problem that befell Underworld Rise of the Lycans. And I would posit to the filmmakers that when you do that, when you take yourself so seriously, the audience starts to make their own humor. If you insist on taking yourself this seriously, you become harder to take seriously. Dracula Untold is a classier movie than I Frankenstein, but it lacks that movie's giddy silliness. It's more on the level of grayscale, sleep-inducing coma-ism of perhaps Tristan and Isolde, and in 5 months' time, I defy you to recall a single scene from it. For Blip on the Radar, where it's always Halloween and Christmas, I'm Mark Palermo.